Hello, welcome to another bid vid. I hope all's good. I hope you're having a good time. Had a good week, a good day, a good few minutes, however long it's been since you've seen the last video. I hope it's all good regardless. Thanks again for coming back and having a look at another video. I hope you get something out of this. I thought what I would focus on this week is going right back to the basics of electronic drumming. Or eDrumming, as I like to call it. Not electronic drumming where we use the kit as an acoustic kit, but eDrumming where we begin to use the kit to make noises. And when you first get into it, the first thing that you'll probably notice is that you can make the kit play piano notes or bass notes or guitar notes or other sounds that come within your module. Once you start getting into that, that's when you start realizing that you can do so much more with these instruments. And at the moment, there seems to be a lot of guys who are kind of like rising to the surface. They've probably been doing it for years. In fact, I know they have been doing it for years, but they're getting a lot of attention. Over here in the UK, not so long ago, we had the UK Drum Show. We had KJ Sorka and Michael Shack on there, along with Zach Danziger. And these guys were showing people what you can do with electronics and drums. What these guys are doing is bringing technology in, but not necessarily with an electronic drum kit. They're mixing it up with acoustic drums as well, especially Zach. And what happens is, in those instances, it demonstrates that it's not about the equipment as such. It's more about the technology, really the computer and the programs and what you've got running. Once you start understanding those, it opens a whole new avenue, a whole new door for you. But you've got to understand it. Understanding it for drummers, I believe, comes right back to the beginning of understanding MIDI and understanding what's going on when you're playing these instruments, exactly what's being generated. Once you know what's being generated, the data that's going out there, you can then start playing with that data and getting it to do other things like triggering lights, triggering videos. And that's when the fun starts, for me anyhow, and hopefully for you guys too. Yeah, so with that, let's have a look at the Yamaha DTX Multi-12. Now, this is just like any other piece of electronic drum equipment, okay? It doesn't matter if you don't have this specific module. Maybe it's relevant to your module, maybe it's relevant to what you're doing, or maybe you're thinking about getting something, whether it be a Roland SP-DSX or whether it be the Alesis Strike Pad or one of these, who knows? It's your choice. But I'm just going to show you what you can get going on with electronics in general. Okay, so you've got your multi-pad and it's got sounds on there. Or patterns. So all that's going on, great, okay, cool, but you're like, well, I don't necessarily want it to play those types of sounds, I want it to play other sounds. It's really, really simple. If you go into MIDI, and let's hit this first pad. So we've got this noise going on there. If we just change the MIDI channel of that and take it off 10, as I've said before, if you've watched other videos, drums are always being received and sent on MIDI channel 10. So if we move that off 9, let's see what happens. All of a sudden, that's actually a really low piano note. Here's a bass note. As I was stepping through the MIDI channels there, which is what I'm doing by the way, I'm just changing the MIDI channel. That's all I'm doing. All of a sudden, you can start hearing notes. And when you watch the likes of Zach Danziger and Michael and KJ, this is how they started to get to do what they're doing now. By saying, okay, well, I'm getting other things going on. So you've still got your kit happening. My kit's down here in my module, that's still just playing a normal kit sound, but all of a sudden, you're getting notes. All I've done is simply change the MIDI channel. Now, the box that you have, your module, it may not have sounds within it, but that doesn't matter. because there's another way you can do this. I'm going to bring the volume down of this. So we've changed this pad here to MIDI channel 3. That's all we've done. So I've got my module hooked up to the computer. So over here, I'm running Ableton. Now, it doesn't have to be Ableton. You could run Logic, you could run Cubase, you could probably run GarageBand. But here, on this MIDI channel here, I'm just going to go to my instruments and I'm just going to grab any instrument really quick. I'll grab another bass. There we go. And then MIDI from, and I'm going to say it's coming from the Yamaha DTX12M. I've got it connected via USB. It's going straight into my computer. And I'm going to put that on MIDI channel 3. Put the monitor in, and now it's playing that bass note. There it is. Now, the reason it's so low is because of the MIDI note that it's playing. So if we go back to the module and we scroll through and we find the note, it's F-1. So I'm just going to bring that note up an octave. So it's now on F0. It was on F-1, remember? It's still really low and dirty. You might like that. Let's take it up another octave. It's now on F1, so we've come up 2 octaves. And all of a sudden, now I'm playing notes from the computer. I turned the volume down because it was distorting a little bit. If you want to make the note longer, go into your module again and just turn the gate time up. So instead of it being 0.3 seconds, it's now 1 second. And all of a sudden you're playing melody. It's that simple. And if you begin to go down this road, you'll start realizing that there's so many things that you can get going on within your module, within your kit, within your computer. You can have the same thing happening when you hit the kick drum. Instead of it just playing the kick drum, it can also be playing a sound from the computer. And you can tailor how long or how short you want that sound to be. You can then get into playing sequences of notes. Every time you hit the drum, it will go on to another note, etc., etc. So there you go. It's really important. It's a very basic, easy step to start with. And once you start understanding how that works, everything else with electronic drumming, with eDrumming, just falls into place. It becomes so obvious and so simple. So there you go, a very short video just about how you can begin to get these things going on. And over the coming weeks, we'll look more at this stuff. As we move forward with the bidvids. Thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. It'd be really appreciated. If you're on Facebook, hit the like button. And if you want to know more about any of this stuff, if you haven't already heard, if you haven't already realized, I have a book, The Art of eDrumming. It's out now. It shows you this and so much more about electronic drumming, the history of it, going right the way through to the initial setup, learning about velocity, sensitivity, and threshold, how you can get various samples going into your kit if you've got a kit that does that, how you hook it up to a computer using DAWs with a big look at Ableton and triggering lights and video and loads more stuff. So have a look if you're interested. Head over to www.tugted.com. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time for another bidvid. Take it easy until then. See ya. Ta-da.